Hello and welcome to the Leverage Podcast. I'm Paul Richard, your host today, and we have Christina Hopkins with Lightwork and Energy Balance joining us from Bolivar, Missouri. And it's good to have you with us, Christina. We're super excited to have you on today and talk a little bit about your business and your life, actually. So I'll tell you what, your business is very unique, and so I'm excited to delve into it in depth. Give us a little bit of background on you and a little bit of background of how you got into this whole area of study and service.
Right. A lot of hard emotional aspects came up, and I actually created the shop out of a heartbreak. So what I did was I channeled my sorrow into the shop, um, because I'm gonna run how I focus my attention and energy type of ordeal, and it's been very, very rewarding in so many ways. My shop originally started out as the Soul Kitchen, but then as I moved to Bolivar, Missouri, I really was looking at my name, and there's another wonderful company called the Soul's Kitchen or whatever. And they do food for, hungry people or whatever the case is, which is great, but I didn't want no conflict of interest because I plan on touching as many hearts as I can. I want
Sure.
to remind people that you got some beautiful nutrients and minerals in your cupboards, just in your seasoning cabinets, and the best way to incorporate this, the herbs, is in your food. Or say you're busy and you're wanting to do hamburger helper. Okay, that's fine. I get it. You throw some margarine and some oregano and thyme and just kind of not just jazz it up with flavor, but also what it does for your body. I had a friend tell me a story about how he got these beautiful garlics from Bucky's. And he was trying to share it with a friend, and the guy's like, "No, I don't eat garlic." And I was thinking to myself, what if he knew what garlic actually did for the body? Would people change how they actually nurture themselves? So, and then in addition to my beautiful herbs, I followed my heart and became a massage therapist, which also helped pay for everything. But but I've been wanting to do massage since I was like 18, and I was always intimidated by, the anatomy and everything else like that. Uh, and then 2021, it's like, as my grandfather would say, poop or get off the bucket. So it's like, all right. So I went ahead and I went to school, and yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So basically, you didn't know anything different growing up, and that it's interesting. I had interviewed a pharmaceutical. I maybe I told you about this, but in our call or earlier, but I had interviewed a Cox South gentleman that had been there for many, many years, and he, had realized that the pharmaceuticals could be either deleted or mimicked by a lot of the herbs and things that, or even food nutrients that are in other foods. And so there was a lot of really good things that came out of that interview. So that's why I was so excited to have you on, talk to you about what goes on with these herbs that you have. What is a typical client of yours? Do they have some type of issue, physically, mentally, or medically, that they come to you? What's a typical client for you?
So, lower blood pressure or look at their cholesterol. I've had some people try to get off their medication altogether, and some of it is of course, I blank out, but you do not want to take yourself off the medicine off all the time. And it's one of those, like, there is a fine line. But when people do come to me, they're looking for something to make them feel better. They're too tired. They need more energy. They want to get rid of the cooties. I call that, if you're sick, you got the cooties. Um, and also, to touch base really quick on, like you were saying, the pharmaceuticals and how it could, the herbs and stuff could correlate in the food as well. I also do Reiki, and I also love the stones. And one of the stories I heard from one of my teachers was basically talking about lithium. And she went into this place where you were mining or whatever, and it was lepidolite. This is lepidolite, and it has
Hmm.
lithium on it. Well, the skin's the biggest organ in the body, and whenever you touch it, you absorb it. And she was telling me about how the pharmaceutical, some company, I don't know all the details, came and basically got everyone out and then was mining it for themselves. And then in some of the medications that we take, it's a mixture of the minerals. It's a mixture of the plants. It is everything we have access to raw, but we don't know how to utilize it. And sometimes it's real strong concentration. And that's another point too, because I had a gentleman come to me one time and he's all like, I don't feel good. I want to, get rid of whatever the case was. And I was like, okay, so you're going to want to drink a cup of tea in the morning and a cup of tea at night. And he's like, well, I don't want to constantly take tea. And it's like, this is more of a slow process. So yeah, I guess it also goes down to the results that you want. But typically, people come to just feel better, not as tired. Sometimes mentally, go, 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 go. Need something to kind of relax. Uh, Tummy issues, stuff like that.
Can you walk us through? I see all these. I'm guessing they're mostly herbs in your background there. Kind of walk us through maybe what you have in your inventory and maybe how you source your inventory and how you it's not prescription, it's how you apply some of those to certain situations. Can you walk us through that a little bit? Take some time and do that if you don't mind.
Quality, they have very and they won't buy something mediocre just to put it on their shelves. If it's not the best, they're out. It is what it is. Um, and so that's typically who I go through. I do have other sources that I do go through, not big companies at all. Um, there's this site for wholesalers. It's Fair, FAIRE, and that's where I got some of my other herbs that I wasn't able to get, like Blue Lotus. That's really hard to find that I've discovered when it comes to wholesale. Um, and so after I got, once you find the herb that you are actually wanting or desiring, uh, when it comes to how you consume it and what, do you need a tablespoon of this or whatever the case is? Like, well, what are you looking at? Are you looking for a honey infusion? Well, if you want a honey infusion, whatever jar you get, fill it up about a third of the herb and then fill it up with honey. Shake it up twice a week or every day for 2 weeks. And then that's another way you could incorporate the herb. Or if you want to do a tea typically what I suggest is a tablespoon, but if it's powder, then it's kind of different. You steep it for about 3 to 5 minutes. The longer, it depends. Sometimes people like it because it's better, but it could also bring out more bitterness. So it's one of those like, um, how well do you want it on your palate? Tinctures. Tinctures is something people come in, they're like, I need a tincture for, marshmallow root. And it's like, one, I don't sell tinctures. I encourage people to do their own thing. And two, that is something that you need to actually work on now. So then when you're sick, you have it. And that's generally about a tablespoon to a shot. It just depends on what's going on with your symptoms, what you are working with. If it's something, in the beginning of the day, probably a tablespoon. If it's right before bed, probably a shot. And whenever you work with tinctures, you want to use basically 100 proof, 95 proof, as high proof as you can so your herbs don't spoil. And you can do it with fresh herbs, but there's a tendency of it molding faster. But so dry herbs are better to create tinctures and infuse honey and things like that. So I have a plethora of all the herbs. I have teas that I also purchased too. But so, like for instance, calendula is a beautiful herb that helps. Whenever you drink the tea, it's very light. There's not too much of a flavor to it, and it's good to help relax you and calm you down, and it's really good for the skin. Now, you could also, this is more popular with topical uses where you infuse it in oil or I'm thinking about a body butter, but most people use essential oils for that because body butter and this won't really blend well. But you put it on top of, you've got a nice good bruise or whatever the case is, and you wrap it, and then it takes care of the inflammation. It takes care of the healing process, like it kind of heals faster. And it's really, really fluffy because another thing, the volume, this only is carrying 2 ounces when some of these
Oh, wow.
are a pound. So also the volume. So when people come in and they're like, I want, an ounce of it, and it's like, it's really fluffy. So there's like the roots that is very dense, or very fluffy. So, and that's another thing. A tablespoon is a tablespoon. That's kind of how I do it. With the grounded stuff, it's a teaspoon, and they do steep differently. And then I've had people ask, it's like, well, I have some of the herbs in my tea. Do I not drink it? Like, that's bad, isn't it? And I think to myself, and I do tell them, and it's like, well, whenever you put oregano in your spaghetti, you don't sip it out. Like, So I think it's cute when people do think like that. But it's one of those, like, no, you're worrying about too much.
And what? I'm sorry, Christina. What was the name of that herb there?
Calendula.
Calendelia.
Calendula.
Calendula.
Like calendula, or I don't know.
Okay, so it's like calendar, but on the end it's not ER, it's ULA.
Yep.
I gotcha. Okay, yeah. Ah, and so that's the powder, and so that's you would normally steep that in hot water, like you say, alone, or do you usually mix it with something else?
Like a wash for your body. You'd go ahead and get kind of like a gallon of water and you steep it in warm water. And then after it steeps for about 5 minutes or so, because we're not drinking it at this point, uh, you're going to go ahead and strain it, whether that is with a mesh bag or with an actual strainer, and then take the water and take cloths or whatever, and then apply it to your body and wash it like that. Um, you can, when you drink it, yeah, that would be a tablespoon in warm water. Uh, since there's not much flavor to that, I always suggest adding something for your palate, especially if you're wanting to do it as a routine. Like, say you want to go ahead and do a 2 week regimen of drinking this one particular tea for whatever results that you're working towards. You kind of want to make it fun, because if you don't, you're not going to show up for it. You'll be like, oh, I'll do that.
Right.
Um, but yeah.
What kind of books do people study about herbs to kind of figure out what they need? Is there some good authoritarian or authority books out there that you recommend?
Yes, actually, let me go grab them, because
Yeah. Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. Okay, very cool. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, that looks yeah, very so um that would walk you through the individual herbs and give you an idea of what the body's response would be to taking those. Oh, okay.
what local around your home?
Oh, yeah. Forger's Guide is it's interesting. We were suddenly blessed, I guess you'd say. Oops. Oh, what happened? It said your recording stopped. I don't know why. Oop. Oh, I lost her. Let's see what happens here. Um, Gosh, I hope she can rejoin me in studio here in a second. Oh, hi, welcome back. Did we lose you there for a second? Okay, well, welcome back. So, what I was going to mention to you, so had we thought was a weed had suddenly grown out of our rock pile in our backyard, and we looked it up, and it was teasel. And now, do you stock teasel in your herbs? Oh yeah, yeah, and so we were like so interested to see where, and I don't know. It seems like Teasel. There's some protocols, possibly for if you have a tick bite or something like that. It seemed like have you familiar with that at all? No. Okay. Very interesting. At least that's kind of what we had. We were trying to do a little research on it to see what it was used for, because I thought it was a thistle at first. I thought it was just like a regular thistle, because it kind of has that same stalky look to it in that. But anyway, that was something that was very interesting. It happened with us, and I don't know. We had done some research too, my wife and I, and so there's this interesting phenomena where a lot of times where the herb is needed for helping with certain things, it grows. It's just there as maybe even an infectious weed of sorts to some people, which is very interesting. So anyway, I don't know if you've ever looked into that either, but it was just kind of an interesting sidelight. So tell us. So the herbs, it's Frontier Co-op is where you source your herbs from, right? You said primarily. Okay, which is awesome. And so if someone, how in the world would they know to go to an herbalist? I guess in some cases because a doctor isn't normally going to refer them to you. How do you normally get your clients? That's what I was curious about. Okay. Sure. And sure, sure. uh, Christina, what would you say are your top three requested herbs that you have there at the shop? And bay leaves? Uh, have you thought about maybe writing a book yourself about some of these things? It seems like you're very knowledgeable and you've had a lot of good background. One day.
Right now, I do astrology, and I'm working on the fixed stars. So that's kind of what I'm working on the book wise right now. Uh, but with the herbs, one day.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, and so in the herb world, it seems like it's kind of separate from the nutrition world in a sense, in a lot of ways. Do you work in the nutritional side at all, or is it strictly on herbs?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't feel great in it. So that's something that I do take in consideration whenever I buy food now. I bought these bars from Walmart that, that we ate them for a while. And now all of a sudden, everyone's not feeling good after they eat them. So I ended up getting rid of them because I don't want to, you know, poison my family in the sense of feeding them stuff that's not agreeing with their body. So,
That's great. That's great. Yeah, and I think we were all tempted there, and I can even say, over the weekend on our trip, I had a weak moment, and I bought a little Debbie box of cakes, and so they're delicious. But yeah, I paid a price for that as far as how I felt and that type of thing, and so I'm with you on that. And I think for the most part, what I've seen is you're never going to be 100% pure in the world that we live in right now, and it's very difficult to keep up protocols of maybe herb applications and or nutritional applications. So you just have to really try and improve step by step, make small changes in that. And it is, it's hard to shop for really good nutritious food out there. It's very difficult because the proportions of that are just not out there. Now in Bolivar, is there like a natural food store up there, or do you guys have to come down into Springfield to find something?
Okay.
Oh,
And then we have Aldi's and Walmart and Woods. A lot of people do go to Springfield. I do sometimes, but I get what I need to in Bolivar.
sure, sure. So we've talked a lot about the herbs themselves. So do you offer service with that, like consultation or counseling, so to speak, on that level? What do you do anything in that realm?
Yes. Do I charge for it? No, not right now. When people come in, take the time and talk to them. The foot traffic per se allows that to actually be very intimate, if you would. Uh, but yeah, people do come and they do ask questions. I've had people come in asking me, my opinion on should they buy this or that for what they're trying to accomplish at home. So yeah, people ask wanting, good questions, good answers with good guidance, all that. I try. I really.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Um, are you doing anything on social media or webinars or anything like that to kind of get your name out there?
Right now, I have a little event going on the 8th of August where we want to do a chance for Reiki 1. But I don't really have too much, like, this is the first interview in a couple of months where it's going out. Yeah, sometimes I know I should give myself more attention.
Sure, sure, absolutely, absolutely. Now, do you have a retail location? Are you working from home? What's your current status on that? Okay.
Which is massages, Reiki, things like that. And the services are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the shop is open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
Once the shop's successful, we may not open hours, but I don't want to have the bodywork open and I'm just covering the door. And I did that
Yeah,
before.
of course. Sure. Do you have an online store or a way that people can order product from you and have it shipped?
Yes. My shop is yes. The shipping is very reasonable. You can choose like whether it's post office or UPS or FedEx, and they generally give you like it's about $5, maybe $6, depending on your location, to ship, which is honestly decent gas. But whenever you do purchase online, I send increments of boxes. So when you come to the shop, you could bring your drawer or you could have a box for something else. But when you go online, it's strictly empties because it's just easier on the inventory.
Ah, very good. Very good. And then do you have a phone number they could call in if they see the podcast, they want to call in and talk with you a little bit more? Okay. Go ahead.
It's an email, which is lightworkandenergybalance@gmail.com. But I do have
Okay.
shop phone number, and it's 417-399-9301.
9301. Okay, fantastic. Well, let me ask you this, Christina. I'm so excited to have you on. This has been really, really educational, and there's so much to know about this, and you grew up with it, and you're probably still learning about it. There's so many aspects of it. It's so incredible, and I'm super excited about that. Now, is there any questions I didn't ask you that you really wanted to share? I'd love to have you open up about that if you have anything else. Of course, of course. It always works that way, right? So, well, awesome. Well, again, thanks for being on the podcast, and we will get the information out to the public on our channel, on our channels, and promote you as much as we can. Thanks again, Christina, for being with us. You too.